before the what year was that? I forget. The Korea Japan World Cup. What was that? 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Before the 2002 Korea Japan World Cup, Japan and Korea were at war before Blatter told them, "Hey, listen, share it." They were at war as to who would get it.
Right. Okay.
Right. South Korea approached Jack Warner to send a Caribbean All-Star team to play against 2 games against Korea in Korea. Yes? He come and said, "Look, Lloyd, this is the case. Pick a side and carry them for me." Okay. Right? So what did we do? We dropped a plan quickly. Stuart Charles was my assistant. I said, I want Stuart Charles to be my assistant. Former national coach, Coach of W Connection. We're talking about back in that day. The 2002 World Cup. That is a football generation ago. Maybe 23 years. A football generation is about 10 years.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
So I said, okay, Stuarty, here we're going to do. We pulled together, we asked the national associations across the Caribbean to give us some names, for this position, that position, whatever. We brought people together in Antigua. We had an all-star match. We played, we said, okay, and we picked a squad, and we said, okay, we putting them on a plane, and we go in Korea.
Right.
David Nakid, parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Sport today, was the captain of that team. Yeah? David Nakid was the captain of that team. Stone John was in that team.
Okay.
Ansel Elcock was in that team. Right? A lot of national, because I ain't no fool. I picked a core of Trinidad and Tobago players and surrounded them with players from Jamaica, Cuba, Antigua, whatever. We went there, right? And we had a plan. Right? We came off the plane, right? Almost 24 hours flying, with a stopover in Anchorage, Alaska. I'll never forget.
Okay.
Yes, a stopover in Anchorage, Alaska, because we went up in the eastern seaboard, up to the top of Canada, flew across what was still then the Soviet Union, etc. Stopover in Alaska, flew across the Soviet Union and down into Seoul. When we got to the hotel, I said, nobody sleeps. Get your gear. We go in and train. We went straight to the training field, put in a 2-hour session, and then I said, okay, now we're going home and sleep, because that is how you deal with jet lag. That is how you deal with crossing time zones.
Right. Okay.
2 nights later, we played South Korea. We lost 2-0. We played them the second game about 5 or 6 days after we landed. We drew with them 1-1. I remember it well. I'm telling stories and singing like a old man, which I am. Right? We played them on a lovely Sunday, spring Sunday afternoon in Seoul Olympic Stadium. That was 60,000 people, and our Caribbean boys draw 1-1 with Korea.
Nice.
Why? Because we went there with a plan, and I told them, listen, all you could play football. We have whatever was the number of training sessions. This is what we're going and doing the training sessions, because I studied Korea. This team going to do this team going to do that. So we're going and train to counter this, and we're going to train when we counter them to do that, and so on. We drew them 1-1. Stone John scored the goal. Nakid was the captain on the field. Planning.
Yeah.
Planning. Right? So if we do all of this, when we assemble our teams, we could start. Let me be contradictory. We could start stopping hearing coaches, national coaches, talking about the players ain't fit, and the players can't control the ball, and the players ain't understand this and that, and the players can't defend, and defenses with problem. We will always have individual errors in defense, but if the defenders don't know how to defend, that is a structural problem, not an individual problem.
That is very true. Yeah.
You understand? That's a structural problem. And I don't mean the structure of the back four or whatever. I mean the structure in the education, how we educate the players as they go through the levels. It's not individual.
Yeah.
So, brother, I've talked way longer than Yadrida would speak. So I'm saying that if we have all the money, then, and these are just the bullet points, I could talk to you about this for 2 hours, for 2 days.
What I for sure is that we will definitely have a second part to this. Yeah.
That is up to you. But these are the bullet points, and I am saying that there's no magic, right? It's only in Trinidad old talk, where you always hear they say Obia beat science every day. you know that Trinidad old talk, Obia beat science. No. If you're scientific in how you proceed with your business, Obia could never beat it. And you cannot succeed in football banking on Obia.
True.
You understand? You have to plan your business. Let me go back full circle and hush. Where it is we want to go? How we get in there? What is the flight plan? What track we going and walk? What are the resources we need? Who in charge? And how we holding them accountable? When I was chairman of the technical committee, every month, the national coaches and the national team managers had to, for the 3 months we were there, had to submit a report on what they did for the month. What were the strengths of what they did, what they need, etc., etc. The technical committee would meet and look at this and say, okay, what we need to do, this is good, what we need, what support you need. Well, and so you could do that better with accountability.
Yeah.
Right? Here, you could lose 45 games and remain coach. And nobody from the level of technical administration is documenting what is happening and tracking what is happening, good and bad, and saying, okay, we need to revise this. We need to change a little bit here. Okay, instead of blah, 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 and make the requisite adjustments to an overall plan. We can't do that if we don't have a plan and we don't have people to implement it and we don't have to the ability to hold them accountable. Last point I will say is this. In the TTFA today, nobody holds the people who are running the association accountable and are going over are leaving football to decide now and are beginning to enter into politics, I suppose. But it's not politics, it's just administration.
Yeah.
Right? The elected board of the TTFA makes all the decisions. And whoever is, the power source within the board, these people make the decisions. The membership virtually have no say or have no say at all. There are no membership meetings to say, well, okay, can we get a report on the national senior team World Cup qualification campaign so far that is sent out to the members that the members could look at and make an assessment so they could come back and say, well, we like this or we don't like that, or what the membership has no input. None. And therefore things unfold and the members cannot hold the people who are acting on their behalf and who are acting on our behalf. We, the people outside of the TTFA, the rank and file citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, and let me underline this, to whom every national team and the TTFA belongs.
True.
Is our teams, is our national association. It's not theirs. Right? They need to be held accountable. And unless people know that they are accountable to some higher authority, then they do what they want or nothing at all. So, look, we travel along with us. I talk about the football, but we have to have proper administration and we have to have proper political control over the administrators. And if we don't do that, brother, you know what's going to happen? We're going to continue depending on luck and Obia to stumble across a generation of players who might make it. So what did we get? We got a generation in 2006. Latopi at the end of his career, yes. But Latopi and York and Shaka Hislop and this one and that one. And we were lucky that they all came at that particular point in time to help us qualify. But it wasn't an accident because they were in good clubs, etc., 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 etc.
Yeah.
Obia do beat science in football. Right? So I will thank you for, gosh boy, a long talk, way beyond what we agreed we would talk about. But
that's fine.
when you get in the flow. And rest assured, you could call me back anytime.
Yeah.
I would be willing to speak with you.
Coach, thank you very, very much. And for me, who trying to really understand the in and outs of Trinidad football, this hour, I mean, it was a little more than an hour, but I got so much information from this that it was well worth it. And again, I appreciate your time for this. And I know that the viewers who look at this, who have similar feelings, would really have something to chew on and something to understand and hopefully open their eyes to the business of football, which is what we're feeling in actually.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
thank you very much, Coach, and thank you very much for those viewing and still being on. And now I'll stop the recording, but thank you and do enjoy your day.
You too, brother.